So I gave my AFC playoff predictions just recently, but I want to talk about who's going to win the conference this year. Who ultimately will make it to Super Bowl 56? To me, it comes down to two teams, the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs. When it comes to the Indianapolis Colts, I don't trust Carson Wentz. The New England Patriots, they have a rookie quarterback in Mac Jones. They're not dynamic enough offensively. The Chargers, they're about a year or two away. The Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson has struggled to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. The Ravens are also dealing with some injuries in 2021. The Buffalo Bills, I don't quite trust Josh Allen yet to beat a top dog like the Kansas City Chiefs or even a loaded Cleveland Browns team. And the Tennessee Titans, they're really good, but the defense still to me is a little bit soft. That defense worries me a little bit. Now, I believe the Cleveland Browns will defeat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and they will advance to Super Bowl 56 this year in 2021. Now, I know what you're probably going to say. Jamon, you're really picking Baker Mayfield to beat Patrick Mahomes, potentially on the road. Yes, I am. I'm a believer in Baker Mayfield. And here's the thing, people. Let's just take away the quarterbacks. Let's pretend that Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes don't exist. When you look at the actual rosters between Cleveland and Kansas City, and look, I think Kansas City is absolutely loaded. But Cleveland, they're loaded as well, and they arguably have a better roster than the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to say it right now. I do firmly believe that. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes tips the scale, but Cleveland, to me, outside of the quarterback, they're probably arguably the better team. I really do firmly believe that. Let's look at the roster compared to the Kansas City Chiefs roster. Offensive line, about even between the two. Running backs, edge goes to the Browns. Wide receivers, about even. Maybe the top of the line talent goes to Kansas City. But Cleveland's overall depth at the wide receiver position is really, really good. They're not far behind. Tight ends, about even. I realize the Chiefs have Travis Kelce, but the Browns have three different guys to throw at you. So that approximately equals Travis Kelce's value. The defensive line, I'm going to say that the Cleveland Browns have the edge. And I think that's really where Cleveland is going to bother Kansas City. Because I think the Cleveland Browns, they have the defensive line and the secondary now to match up with the Kansas City Chiefs. Myles Garrett's unblockable. Jadeveon Clowney's a Pro Bowl level player. Malik Jackson is a beast. The line, the defensive line is really good for Cleveland, okay? And while you do have Chris Jones for the Kansas City Chiefs, not a whole lot of other guys that are notable, okay? When it comes to the linebackers are about even to me. Both teams have a whole linebacker. I will say Cleveland did add to their linebacker core by getting Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And when it comes to the secondary, I think the edge actually goes to the Browns. I know that the Chiefs have a guy like Tyrann Mathieu in the secondary, but the Browns added Ronnie Harrison to that secondary, added John Johnson to that secondary. Grant Delpit comes back off of injury. Denzel Ward is arguably one of the 10 best cornerbacks in the NFL. Greg Newsome, first-round pick out of Northwestern. When you look at the rosters, I think Cleveland's defensive talent can give the Kansas City Chiefs some problems. And here's what's going to happen. Week number 1 of the 2021 NFL season, the Cleveland Browns are going to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay? They're going to lose because Kansas City, they have the familiarity. They're playing at home. And I trust Andy Reid to have his team prepared for week number 1. But come playoff time, the Cleveland Browns will make the adjustments. Baker Mayfield is capable of winning multiple playoff games and getting his team to a Super Bowl. Baker Mayfield is an accurate quarterback. He has really good arm strength. He makes good decisions. And I get it. A couple of years ago, Baker Mayfield was not very good. His sophomore season, he wasn't very good. But you also have to take into account that the offensive line was horrible and the coaching staff was horrible. When Baker Mayfield has had time to throw and a competent coaching staff, he's played good football. Actually, great football at times. In fact, the Kansas City Chiefs were on their heels when they faced the Cleveland Browns last season in the 2020 playoffs. If it were not for a couple of plays that went Kansas City's way, Cleveland honestly could have knocked out Kansas City last season. And Cleveland was just starting to figure things out with a brand new head coach in Kevin Stefanski. Okay? So, when it comes to Kansas City and Cleveland, I think Cleveland can give Kansas City a run for their money. In fact, Cleveland played Kansas City a lot tougher than Buffalo did last year. Buffalo struggled. Baltimore struggled versus Kansas City last year. And ultimately, the Cleveland Browns now have a real head coach in Kevin Stefanski that understands Baker Mayfield's strengths and limitations. He understands the roster's strengths and limitations. And overall, I believe in Kevin Stefanski and what the Cleveland Browns are building. So that's how I feel about Cleveland. I believe the Cleveland Browns will win the AFC this year in 2021. I think the Cleveland Browns have a real chance to win Super Bowl 56. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.